Hello, 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 and welcome. My name is Mark Bruins. Welcome to part 2 of our 4-part series. It's all about our Gold BA Masterminds mentoring program. It is a 4-month program. There are 4 pillars, pillar 1, 2, 3, and 4, and that is why we are having this 4-part series. So we have a group of 4 ladies that are senior business analysts, and they all joined the Gold mentoring program, and they're doing it over 4 months. We also offer it over 2 months or over 1 month, depending how much time you've got available. And last time we had 𝗬𝗂𝗏. This time we got 𝗁𝗂𝗏. So without further ado, let me introduce you to 𝗁𝗂𝗏 and let's get going.
Hi, everybody. My name is 𝗁𝗂𝗏. I am a senior business analyst at Intellect Software. And I have been a business analyst for about plus 9 years now, and I'm very looking forward to hitting a decade as a senior business analyst. And yeah, in the past 9 years, I have worked in wealth management systems, I have worked in payment systems, in cloud computing and reinsurance industries. And I have been on the Gold Masterminds program with Mark and the team for a few months now, and we've just completed Pillar 2, which was quite fun.
So thank you for joining us today. Let's go through some slides. So let's start with why most business analysts stay stuck. So you're in a role and you don't feel you're progressing. Perhaps you're in a comfort zone and you enjoy it, or perhaps you think that you can't climb the corporate ladder anymore, or you can't progress in your career, and then it's time to actually do something. So some people move jobs because they're underpaid. So there's 2 ways you can get more money. You can ask your line manager for a 50% increase in salary. That's probably not going to happen, or you're going to then secure a job at another company at a higher rate. Okay. Some people feel overlooked as well. So when there's time for promotion in the company, maybe they skip you for some reason, and then you're not too happy about that. Okay, so some people stay stuck because they struggle to secure interviews. Okay, so that's a big part of securing your next role, is actually to have a great CV, a good LinkedIn profile, and know where to find jobs and how to apply for jobs and then secure interviews. So some people really struggle to secure interviews. Yeah. So maybe you're unsure how to position yourself. Maybe you've got multiple hats that you wear. Maybe you're a business analyst, a product owner, project manager, solution architect, and now you've got 4 CVs, and then you tailor your CVs for each job. You know, it gets very out of hand. So you really need to determine your dream job. What is your dream job? And then position yourself to be able to secure interviews for that dream job. Okay. So perhaps your CV and your LinkedIn profile aren't showcasing your true value. Maybe your CV is just listing the roles that you do. You know, you do a use case or an epic or a business case, not what value you bring to the company. And that's what the company's after. They're after not just you doing tasks, but you improving the bottom line in the company, you know, improving effectiveness or efficiencies from your to-be analysis and things like that. Okay. Perhaps you're not getting picked up by recruiters. So this is a very important part as well. And that's called getting headhunted. So when recruiters try and, you know, source candidates for roles and for interviews, they're just not seeing you. Perhaps you submit your CV and then you're just invisible in your CV because your CV just looks like everybody else's. You want to stand out, but stand out for the right reasons. Yeah, maybe you're applying for jobs. So I've had people that apply for, let's say, 300 jobs. They've secured 5 interviews, but no offers. So you need to be able to convert your job applications into interviews, and then you need to convert your interviews into written offers that you can either accept or negotiate the terms and conditions on, or just decline. Okay, so misalignment of job titles. Again, I see this a lot. You come across as a jack of all trades and a master of none. And this is perhaps in your LinkedIn headline where you advertise what you are, or at the top of your CV where you say what you are. Many people say business analyst, project manager, product owner, and I'm thinking, oh no, you're just a jack of all trades and a master of none. So you need to align, you know, all your jobs from the past. Okay. Let's have some comments. So if somebody's willing to comment, why do you feel stuck? And then I'll share the comments and we can discuss them as well. Okay. Now, what if you could uncover the career gaps, right? Now, there's a target role, and you've got your experience and your skills and your certification, your knowledge and your experience, but you can't seem to marry them up with your target role. Now, you can't go and tailor your CV if you're applying for 100 jobs. It's just going to take too long. So you need a generic CV, but that generic CV, you know, must cover all those alignment gaps that we were talking about. Okay. Now, some people say produced an as-is and to be graph, BPMN, whatever it is, right? So you're not presenting it correctly because, you know, the 2B is actually a waste of time if nobody accepts it and implements it and you get benefits from it. So if you were to say, I do as-is and 2B in your CV or your LinkedIn profile, you can say, I do as-is and explain to us how you did the as-is. And then the 2B explain to us the 2B that it got approved and it was implemented so that you can show value. Also to break it up and to use keywords and to show well that you work well on your own as well as part of a team. Okay. Now, a lot of people, you know, they undersell themselves. So basically what that means is, you know, you've got certain things, qualities that you can offer a company, but you don't know how to express them. You don't even know what they are, let alone how to express them. So when I see in the personal summary on top of somebody's CV or in the about section of somebody's LinkedIn profile that's trying to secure a senior business analyst role, it's usually just waffle. Waffle, waffle, waffle. It's all about soft skills and stakeholder management and agile and all these kind of things. You know, it's not really a true good hard sell. All right. Now, also, just because you've had junior roles and you're climbing the corporate ladder, you need to, you know, sell yourself in a higher role. So if you're a business analyst, but you're over the age of 30 and you've been a business analyst for more than 3 years, but you've never held the job title of senior business analyst, you can call yourself whatever you want. If you've put a plug on some wires, you can call yourself an electrician, right? Who's to say anything you can't call yourself that? So you can call yourself a senior business analyst, even if you've never had that job title, senior business analyst. You just can't lie when it comes to your actual job titles for that role, for that duration. You have to put your real job titles, but you can rebrand yourself as a senior business analyst. So that'll position you for higher paying jobs. Yeah. So every job in the world has a job title: a plumber, an electrician, an Uber driver, a business analyst, a solution architect. Everybody's got a job title. So you need to target specifically only one job title. And then you need to rebrand yourself and rewrite your CV and redefine yourself on LinkedIn in alignment with that job title that you're going for. So people can see that's what you are. You're not a jack of all trades, you're specializing. You perhaps got the theoretical knowledge and the practical experience and the skills to do that. Okay. And then some exact steps. So that's where I can come in. As I mentioned, all jobs have a job title. So what is the job title that you actually want as your next job? Do you want to be a business analyst, a senior business analyst, a lead business analyst, perhaps something else? Let us know in the comment section. Okay, let's go over now to 𝗁𝗁 and let's go and have a look at firstly her LinkedIn profile and let's see how she's done on LinkedIn. So we can see here she's got a really good background image showcasing her unique selling points, some of her unique selling points, a professional profile photo, a powerful headline, all the contact information inside here, not missing anything. And then an about section, some projects and work streams she's worked on, some achievements she's had, methodology, software and technologies. Then she's listed all her experiences here. And then her education. So she's got a diploma from FTI. She's also got a CBAP, which was issued in September last year. She's worked on a number of projects. She's done some volunteering. She's added 100 skills and she's gone and obtained, through my instruction, 8 long written recommendations. You can see they're nice and long. Okay. So let's ask 𝗁𝗁, why don't you explain to us how we first met?
Okay. So I met Mark for the first time at the International BA Summit through the IIBA. And he was one of the exhibitors at the event, and he also gave a talk. Funny thing about that talk and why Mark remembered me is because I wanted to hear him speak so much that I walked into the room and all the chairs were filled. I ended up sitting on the ground just to hear him talk, and it was worth it. So, so yeah, that was quite a fun experience. And we got to talking a bit later. I got his contact information because I wanted to grow my business analysis career.
I remember well. I remember clearly meeting 𝗁𝗲𝗂 for the first time. So I am very big with the 𝗖𝗹𝗿𝗂. I invest a lot of my time with the 𝗖𝗹𝗿𝗂, and basically I attended my first BA summit in 2017. Then in 2020, I spoke on the power of a mastermind. 2023, I was a track chair, so I had 7 international speakers. I also did a 4.5-hour workshop on goal setting mastery. 25 people attended in 2023. And then last year in Johannesburg, I went and we were an exhibitor, BA Mastermind. So we gave away a lot of merch and things like that. And then I was also a speaker, and then I spoke there again, and my room was full of people. You know, there was supposed to be 200 people in 3 rooms, so I was supposed to have 60. I had 100 people came to my room and came to watch me speak. So people were on the ground and sitting everywhere. Shame the other speakers didn't have many attendees on their call, but it was really good, and that's where I met you. That's quite right. All right, let's move on. And then tell us a little bit about your background as a business analyst.
Okay. So I actually fell in love with business analysis while I was in tertiary. So I always knew that I wanted to solve problems, and I didn't really know what title to hold to actually do that, right? I mean, I was a teen, I didn't know what I wanted, none of us did. And I fell in love with the analysis as I was studying my computer engineering, or my Bachelor of IT degree. And I didn't really know if there was a business title in that or what it was, but I went and found out. And from the start of my career, I have always been a business analyst. Maybe not a great one at first, but I've invested so much time in learning and understanding how I can bring value to the organizations that I work with. And I started at a company called Cybrine Systems, which was mainly around payment systems. So I got to work in with some of the banks in Africa. I got to solve some of the payment processes. I got to understand international payments, domestic payments, and mobile payments. Then my second job was at Intellect, where I have more pure consulting experience, where I go in to different clients and actually look at what problems they're experiencing and how I can add value and help them solve those problems. So it's been quite fun.
Yes, so you're actually a consultant now. So you get 3 kinds of roles: a permanent job where you work on your business analysis internally for that company. Then you get a consulting role where you don't do any business analysis work internally for the company that's paying your salary. They outsource you to a valued client at either a daily or an hourly rate. And then you'll be a consultant and you'll work for a consultancy. So some big ones are DBT and PricewaterhouseCoopers and TCS and Capita and all those kind of companies. So currently 𝗁𝗲𝗂 is a consultant working for a consulting firm. So that's kind of like a middle step between a permanent role and a contracting role, because a permanent role, you're in a comfort zone, you'll be there 5 years, you know everybody. But in a contract role, you've got a list of things to do it and get out the door as quick as possible. So it's a different environment. You need to hit the ground running. So consultancy as a middle step is great because it gets you ready, for those pressure kind of situations. It also gives you a bit more exposure to different stakeholders, different software, different clouds, different companies, different industries, different sectors, different vision statement, mission statement, and products and services that the company sells, different vendors. Everything is really different. So it's a very dynamic environment to be a consultant, because you could get placed for somewhere for 2 months and somewhere for 5 months. You learn all these different things. So that's what really gets you ready to be able to go into contracting. So, okay, let's discuss a little bit more about the Gold Mentoring Program and who this is for. So there are entrance requirements. So the entrance requirements are, that you have a degree or a diploma, that you've at least got 1 year's paid working experience as a business analyst, you reside in one of our regions, and that you really want to move to a better paying job. So if you qualify, for those, if you meet those requirements, then you qualify for gold. Let's have a look at what's in gold. So there are 4 pillars: personal discovery, solution alignment, proficiency, positioning, and expanding authority. So the group that we're busy with now, group 11. Yes, I've had 10 groups between 2 and 5 people in the past. And now we're on group 11, and 𝗁𝗲 is one of those, and we just completed pillar 2. We've moved on to pillar 3. That's why she's now with me here today discussing the solution alignment part of the pillar. So each pillar has 2 stages. So there's 8 stages. Pillar 1 is stage 1 and 2. The pillar 2 is 3 and 4, etc. And then because there's 8 stages and it's then we have 8 one-hour mentoring sessions. Okay, so that's kind of how it works. There are 62 lessons and assignments. So quite straightforward, the roadmap, the blueprint. Complete an assignment, submit it, and mark it as complete, and then go on to the next stage. Let's see what's included. So we set long-term goals. Then we set medium-term goals. In other words, where do you need to be in 1 year from now to know you're on track to achieving your 3-year goals? There's 3 ways to find your next role: the advertised job market, the hidden job market, and being consistently headhunted for your education, knowledge, certification, skills, experience, strategies, methodologies, your sector experience, your niche, all these kind of things. You want to be headhunted. You don't want to rely on the advertised job market and apply for a job on LinkedIn with one-click apply when 250 people have applied in the last 3 days. You'd rather get headhunted and be exclusive, right? A lot of my students, when they join, they lack confidence. So we help to increase their confidence. Where do they lack confidence? Maybe you lack confidence in one of these areas as well. Perhaps you lack confidence in your ability to produce a high-quality CV that promotes you correctly. Perhaps you lack confidence in the ability to redefine your LinkedIn profile in alignment with your 1-year career and life goals. Perhaps you lack confidence in your ability to find suitable roles to apply for. Perhaps you lack confidence in your ability to apply successfully roles and to secure an interview. Perhaps you lack confidence in your ability to prepare yourself thoroughly for an interview, to be able to ace that interview and get a written offer. Perhaps you lack confidence in your ability to negotiate the written offer so that the terms and conditions are more in your favor. Perhaps you lack confidence in your ability to ace your probation period, which you might have for 3 months or 6 months, and you think that you might lose your role during probation. But all those areas of confidence, that is the goal with the Gold Mentoring Program, to improve your confidence and specifically, your presentation skills. And that's why 𝗁𝗲 says, Anya, this is one of the first times she's gone live. So this is a bit of an experience for her as well. A big part of the Gold Mentoring Program is to define your dream goal and to secure your dream goal and to secure the start date. That is the biggest part of the Gold Mentoring Program. We give you a toolkit with all templates. We put you into a success mindset. So pillar 1 is all about the mindset, putting you in a positive mindset. Negotiating skills and community access. When you finish pillar 1, I've got a community of 8,800 business analysts in the UK and growing worldwide now, but it's a big network and you tap into that network as well. All right, let's have a look at what the next slide says. Okay, who am I? All right, well, I know who I am. Let's show you all who I am then as well. Okay, so I've been doing IT for 42 years. Okay, so yes, you guessed it right. I'm 103 years old. Okay, and I'm 61. 25 previous international positions. So I've had 25 jobs. 15 of those have been contracts. 8 of those in the UK, right? I've been working as a BCS certified business analyst and then a senior business analyst. I've been doing it over 10 years. So I'm a mentor and career strategist to business analysts, but I've been there before. I know what works and what doesn't work. I've also been a PM. I'm certified as well in Prince 2, Foundation and Practitioner. And basically, business analysts mostly report to a project manager. Sometimes they report to a lead business analyst, and then that lead business analyst reports to a project manager. But it's nice to know what a project manager does so you can have a strategic alliance partnership there as well. Okay. In the 1st of April, it's going to be 7 years experience because I launched the company on 2nd April 2019. Okay, so I've got 4 BCS certificates. So there's 2 main courses around the world, and that's the 𝗂𝗶𝗂 𝗂𝗵, that's in Canada, mostly for Canada and Americans and Australians. And then we have the BCS International Diploma in Business Analysis, that is with the British Computer Society, the BCS. They've been going since 1953 as 𝗚𝗵, and I got my 4 certificates in 2015 and in 2016. And I've also been a university lecturer. I taught business skills to 42 first-year students. I had to write all my own curriculum. I really enjoyed doing that. Okay, let's bring 𝗁𝗲 back on, and let's dive deep now into her experience in Pillar 2. All right, so I'm going to hand this over to you, 𝗁𝗲. So working through Pillar 2, what was that really like for you?
A lot of work, but it's a lot of work that you look in hindsight and go, that was worth it, right? It's very rewarding to work through the assignments and get so much value out of them. So Pillar 2 is called solution alignment, and part of this was around digging deep into what do you bring to the table and thinking about what have you done in your career that mattered. And a simple thing like Mark asked us, list achievements that you've had in every single role that you've worked in, right? And just thinking through that changed my perspective around what my selling points are and how much value I bring to the table, and just how much that actually mattered. But yeah, it's been quite fun the past couple of months, and it's a lot of personal and professional exploration as well.
Yari's question 2, how did aligning your CV change your confidence, 𝗁𝗲?
Okay, so Mark outed me, and you all saw my profile picture and the engaged look. But so Mark actually gave us a long list of instructions on how to take your profile picture and how to get the most value out of it. It's the first thing someone sees when they look at your professional profile. And my previous picture was just me sitting in a car. And the first time I spoke to Mark, he said, we are going to change that picture. And so it's a multi-step process, and there's a lot to it. But like I said, it's very, very rewarding. So what excited me is that after I had worked on my work history and my professional profile picture and background images, I went and updated my LinkedIn. And in the first week of doing so, I had about 87 profile views, and I had never had that many in a week. But what excited me most is that in the first 2 weeks, I had more than 200 profile views, and it just made me realize how much value there is in updating your LinkedIn profile picture and just making sure that your LinkedIn profile, which is your business card, actually represents you well. So I have received many requests from thought leaders and some recruiters, and it just made me realize that I've now repositioned myself into attracting the right network of people. And you want to have thought leaders and people you can share ideas with and learn from on LinkedIn, and you can grow your career as well. But yeah.
Brilliant. Yes, yes. So aligning your CV, aligning your LinkedIn profile with what you want to attract, because what you put out is what you attract. So if you've got a boring LinkedIn profile with no background image or just some photo of a skyline and a photo of you sitting in your car, you know, looking very casual, not very professional, a photo maybe for Facebook or Instagram, but not for LinkedIn, where you want to network with like-minded professionals, so what you put out is what you attract. I always say there's two ways to do things in life: the perfect and less than perfect way. And there's 2 ways to populate your LinkedIn profile: the perfect and less than perfect way. And that's what we strive for in this mentoring program to promote you effectively and efficiently, because just like 𝗕𝗂𝗋 says, it is your business card. So at the top of your CV, name and surname and all your contact details. So it's, physical location, mobile number, email address, and LinkedIn profile. Why? Because you summarize your CV. I mean, I've had 25 jobs in 42 years. I've got a 2-page CV, but I've got a 14-page LinkedIn profile. So, your CV is just, it's basically like when you're going fishing, if I can use that analogy. So you've got a fishing rod and a reel and line and a hook and then the bait. So your CV is actually just the bait to get an interest. And when somebody's interested, they're going to want to click on your LinkedIn profile and go and find out a lot more. Okay, so that's just how you need to see it. But we really strive to perfect LinkedIn profiles within the Gold Mentoring Program. Okay, I'm not going to put myself on mute anymore, so let's have a look at the next slide and let's see what your next question's in. So what mistakes you made before, and then what feels different now that you're immersed in this Gold Mentoring Program, and perhaps you've made some mistakes before?
So I always approached the LinkedIn and as just a page that I have there tabling my work history, and I never really paid a lot of attention into who's looking at that and why they're looking at it, right? So as part of this program, I've just learned a lot about branding myself and positioning myself in the way that I position myself at work. So if I position myself as a professional at work, I need to position myself as a professional to everybody else that's out there looking at my profile. And yeah, it's actually changed my mindset to just be a bit more intentional about what you're putting out there and being intentional about what your value is and bringing it wherever you are.
Wonderful. Let's just explain to our viewers that the reason why 𝗕𝗂𝗋's video is not fluid is because she's at work at the moment. So she's at office, she's got a little place there, but at home when she's doing it and she's on the Zoom calls with us, the video is flowing perfectly. All right, let's move on to the next question, and I think it is actually the last one. So no, second last one. All right. So what has changed in how you think about your career?
Yeah, so with this one, I've had to be a lot more intentional than I was before. And, Mark mentioned the targeted role and thinking about what the next title is and what it means for you and what you're going to do and what skills you can leverage that you already have and what skills you need to learn to get into that next role. So that's been quite the English is leaving me an eye-opener. Yes.
Clarity. That's what you get from this course. You get clarity. So I find that 𝗕𝗂𝗋, a lot of people, when they join the course, they don't have any clarity. So they're just fumbling around and trying this and trying that, and maybe getting a certificate in product management and a certificate in product ownership or a certificate in Agile Scrum or a certificate in something that they're never, ever going to use because, they see a job description. They think that's a nice job. Oh, but I don't have Power BI. So now they go off and they do a 2-month course in Power BI and get the certificate, and then they never, ever used that skill before. So it kind of narrows down your thought process, doesn't it?
100%. And that's exactly what my strategy was. It was, where am I now and what do I need right now? Or what's the in thing, right? Everybody is now getting certificates in agentic AI and all kinds of stuff. But I know where I want to go next, and I can focus my efforts on actually doing needle moving things that get me to that next title.
Definitely. So what we do is we do the as is. Where are you currently when you join the program in your life and your career? Then we work out your 𝗂𝗏, which is your 1-year goals. And then we do a gap analysis and we see what's missing. And then if you're lacking some theoretical knowledge, luckily in your case, you're not, because you're 𝗂𝗵𝗶 and FTI certified, But perhaps when you're diving deep into your niche or into your speciality, which makes you very exclusive in the marketplace, then you need two things. You need theoretical knowledge and practical experience. And only at that stage will you go and investigate into internationally recognized curriculum and then authorized training providers, and then select a course. For instance, if you want to go into cybersecurity, find out what the course is, then sign up, do the course, write the exams, and then you attain this theoretical knowledge. Then you still need to convert that into practical experience. So that's how we look at aligning your CV and LinkedIn profile in alignment with that niche or speciality, so you can secure that role. Okay, so all right, so you're thinking completely differently about your career. And what do you think about the career progression? In other words, moving from where you are now as a senior business analyst, perhaps into a lead business analyst. Is that a bit of an eye-opener now as well, that you can look outside the box and you can look a little bit more far into the future?
100%. From when we started Pillar 1, I had to start thinking about where is the next step? Where is the next step? And just that clarity has helped me also build confidence as we go through the course to say, how do I get to that next role? And having Mark by our side and helping and assisting and the mentorship sessions helps you gain more confidence and clarity to get to that next role.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay. Right, let's move on to the next slide then. And I think this is going to be the last one. Let's have a look here. And so basically at the end of every pillar, we rely a lot on feedback. So, you know, I've created this course. I created the course. We launched version 1 of the curriculum in August 2021. And basically that was version 1.0. So I put all my experience and everything into it. And then basically I don't go out and apply for jobs and attend interviews and get onboarding and extend contracts and things. So I rely a lot on the feedback from my masterminds, you know, what works and what doesn't work. And then, you know, if something doesn't work, I kick it out the curriculum. And then if something new comes along, I investigate. And if it's worthwhile to our students, I put it in the course. But also there's the advent of 4IR, where there's AI and RPA and ML and ChatGPT and all these things coming out. You know, we embed them in the course as well. Did you do the recommendations? Yes, you did. So you used AI, that AI tool as well. Yeah, that's part of the course. So this is what changes the version of our curriculum. So we launched version 3 in September 2022. We launched version 6 in May last year. And then in September last year, we launched version 7. And then we're going to lock down now for about a year. So I feel really good about that. But after every pillar, as part of the lesson and assignment, all our students have to do a bit of a progress reflection. So they've got to give me constructive criticism as well. You know, where can I improve on the course? And then also, you know, what did they enjoy most of the course? So I think that's the next question for you. What are you enjoying most in the entire Gold Mentoring program?
They're getting stamp of approval from someone who is so in tune with quality control. It's actually a very, very good feeling. If you choose to go onto this course, Mark, you have us do so many iterations and you help us, you know, look out for little things that just turn your document and your output into the best version of it, you know, doing it the perfect way. And I've actually seen that in my own career as well, that I've switched my mindset into looking for ways to produce better quality and to seek out better quality in the people around me as well, and just switch on that mindset of quality checking. And I also enjoy having people with me in the journey to learn from and just share some ideas and just also know that you're not alone in the journey that you're on. And everybody, when we have the sessions, everybody has their own learnings, and that also helps you just move forward a little bit. Yeah. I won't give you
Wonderful.
the negative feedback now.
Oh, come on. No, we can do that in the report. Thanks. We'll handle that
Yes.
offline. It's a bit personal, that. But yes, I always appreciate some constructive criticism. So what 𝗂𝗂𝗂 is mentioning here, two ways to do things, perfect and less than perfect. When you're at work as a business analyst, you have what's called deliverables. So perhaps you need to do an epic or a use case. And then you do it in draft, you fiddle around with it, you ask stakeholders for input, and then eventually it's finalized and it goes from draft to final and you submit it. So you can either email it or upload it to SharePoint or to the cloud or to your eDrive, but that's called submitting it. So there's two ways to submit a deliverable: perfect, less than perfect. And we look at two aspects of every deliverable, and that's the content that needs to be complete and correct. And then we look at the look and feel, which I'm not going to get into now, but that's a really big component as well. It's being proud of your work. It's actually got a lot to do with proofreading everything before you submit it, because you are going to pick up mistakes, bad habits perhaps that you have, maybe starting a sentence with because, or not putting a full stop after the etc abbreviation, or perhaps not doing capitals when you say SDLC or something like that. You know, it's about perfection. You know, there's a right way to do things and a wrong way to do things. So try and determine what is the perfect way to do things. And then I actually do that in the 62 lessons and assignments. So not every lesson has an assignment, but let's say there's 50 assignments that they do. I check these assignments and I offer constructive criticism. Actually, in the case of the group mentoring program, initially, in the first session, I asked for permission. May I please share your CV, 𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂, so I can give you some constructive criticism in front of the group? Now I don't ask anymore. We all know each other well. Okay, so now I just bring up Dora's CV or 𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂's master profile document, and I go through it and I say, don't do this, don't do that, look out for doing this, because it's all just bad habits. You need somebody to show you your bad habits, show you a good way of doing things. You try it a few ways, you say, this is great, I can do it this way. And then you replace your bad habits with good habits, and then there are no bad and good habits. They're just habits, and they're all good. Okay. And this is what counts a lot when you're in your role and you're producing deliverables. You look for perfection, because your line manager or whoever you submit the deliverables to, be it a lead BA or a project manager, they don't want to see common spelling mistakes, common grammar mistakes, you know, inconsistencies in your bullet points, inconsistencies in your titles and headings, inconsisting of the format and font and color of your text. You know, it's just, you need to proofread, know your bad habits, replace them with good, and be consistent. And this is what you need to do if you're a contractor and you want to get your contract extended, or if you want a consultant and you want to be, you know, have your current client, the work that you're doing and your current client also extended, or if you're in a permanent job and you want a promotion, so, or you want a salary increase, right? You want some positive feedback. You have what's called performance appraisals at work. And then you ask, you know, what am I doing wrong? Where can I improve? And then congratulate me on doing things right. So, you know, you want to make sure that they don't nitpick and say, well, this and this and this. You want to do it to the best of your abilities. I've had quite a few students now get back to me and say, my line manager has just congratulated me on the quality of the whatever I submitted, the business case or the project initiation document or whatever it is, you know, that my work is really good. And what are they saying? Your work is really good in comparison to your colleagues that submit work that's not perfect, right? So it's all about, you know, finding out what perfection is and striving for perfection so that you do really well at work. And that's what you're referring to, right, 𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂?
100%, yes. Just thinking a bit harder about what is it that I'm producing, and before you hit that send button, just go through it. Just make sure that it represents you and your brand. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Be proud of your work. Be proud of your output. Be proud of the deliverables. And a lot comes with procrastination. So if some people have a cutoff of Thursday, 5 p.m., your business case needs to be in, and they're working hard Wednesday night, that's no good. You need to finish it like a week before. Make sure you proofread the entire thing a day or two before. Fix any mistakes, you know, then submit it a day or two before the deadline to the best of your ability. This is where I find people are making the most mistakes or not proud of their work because they run out of time. Okay, wonderful. Thanks for that. Let's move on to the next slide. let's have a look at what you can do if you also want to partake in the Gold Mentoring Program, just like 𝗁𝗁 and Dora have done. So basically, we have a gap analysis. So I mentioned that it's your as-is, your to-be, your gap analysis, and next steps. So let me show you the screen that has got the gap analysis. Let me just have a quick look here. Right, here it is. So basically, it starts with a video. You can watch the video. It's 3 minutes of a video. And then you can start your analysis. So if you click Start Your Analysis, it's kind of like a Q&A where you do steps, where you're residing, United Kingdom, next step, next step, next steps, and all those kind of steps. All right, so all the sections, it explains it. Do you have a degree? Yes, I've got a degree. Next, etc., etc. You carry on with your gap analysis. Really, really easy to go through that. And then as well, what we have as well is your career assessment. So you can book a free 30-minute career assessment session with me by clicking that link. And then we've also got a page that relates to the career assessment. Let's go through that page quickly too, and you can see what that's all about. So this is the career assessment, begin your journey. It's quite a long page. It's quite detailed. It tells you what's going to happen. We've actually got a whole BPMN here of exactly what's going to go on. Yes, some success stories. You can move through the success stories this way, this way. They scroll automatically. You can pause them by just clicking on them. But this is what happens step by step in your career assessment. Let me just make this full screen. All right, so this is the exact steps that you will follow when you do this career assessment, and it's free. Okay, there's all the steps, all the steps there, and you can book your career assessment straight away, who this is for, things like that. A little bit about me, who I am, some frequently asked questions, and you can go back to the top with that button there. Okay, so that's a little bit about our course and our Gold Mentoring Program. We also have a sneak peek. So basically how that works is you can register here and you can have a quick look at, you know, the Gold Mentoring Program itself. The testimonial collection. So we've got 29 long 10-minute testimonials and we've summarized them. These are 90 seconds each. So Andre will have a 90-second extract, Moyo, Tande, Funke, Frank, Philip. You know, we just all these ones. And if you like one of these short testimonial videos, if they resonate with you, then you can go and click the testimonial video and go and watch the whole thing. We also tell you everything that's included in Gold. So this is a 40-minute video. Watch the video. It tells you everything what's included in the Gold Mentoring Program. And then you can actually start the Gold Mentoring Program without appointing me as your mentor, without investing. You can start on stage 1, pillar 1, and you can start with 4 of the mindset assignments. Let me just show you how that works. So you watch a quick video. I think it's about 3 minutes, 6 minutes. I tell you what to do, why to do it, and how to do it. You download some completed assignments to answer any questions and to inspire you to complete yours. You download the assignment in Word, you complete it, you save it, and you upload it, and you mark it as complete. So this is the portal, and basically you can register for free there, and then you can go and have a look at what the Gold Mentoring Program is all about, and you can also join the experience next time. Okay. I think we've got 1 slide left, 2 slides. So the next event, so we're having one a month as we finish the next pillar. So we've had Dora in the previous one. We've had her in January. I think it was 29th of January for 45 minutes. Then today, 26th of February, is 𝗁𝗁 who has joined us. She is talking about completed pillar 2. And then the next one is Matabela Tswari, and she is also one of the 4 ladies that's on the Gold Mentoring Program, Group 11. She will then discuss, because we're starting pillar 3 now, so we're working through pillar 3, which is proficiency positioning. And this is where we do, I'm not going to tell you because she's going to tell us next time. And basically, she's an FTI certified senior business analyst, and the topic is on how to build authority, credibility, and specialist positioning. So that is coming up in the next session. All right. questions and answers. Now, anybody is welcome to ask us any questions. I see we've shared the links over here. So there are the 2 links so that you can book yourself in and click on those links. Go and have a look at the gap analysis, do the gap analysis, read all about the career assessment and click on that link as well. And basically, yes, let's wait to see if there's any questions. Most of the time, there's no questions, so we're not going to wait too long. So if you've got a question, just type it in the comments. If you've got a question for me or for 𝗁𝗁, type it in. If you're watching a replay of this, and you're not watching it live, you're watching a replay on LinkedIn, you can still put comments in the comment section. I still go through the comments and I answer any questions. So just because you're not watching it live, you're watching a recording, please type in a question in the comments. There's no such thing as a silly question. Everybody's got questions. And basically, that's it. And we've got about a 25-minute delay between what I've said now. So I'm just going to hang on for the next couple of seconds. And then if nobody has any questions, we can wrap up and we can let 𝗁𝗁 go back to work. Any last final words, 𝗁𝗁, from you?
I hope that more people actually choose to invest in this. It is a rewarding step. And thank you so much for having me, Mark.
Brilliant. And thanks for joining us on the show. And I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday for a session. Where are we now? I don't know which session, but it's part of 3 we're working on. Enjoy your assignments and submitting them. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. And we'll see you in March. Thank you, 𝗁𝗁. Have a good day further.
Thank you. Bye, Mark.
Bye now. Bye.